Hello again all, welcome to another video. I'll have to apologise first of all for my voice. I haven't been feeling well the last week or so, yeah, I've been a bit of an infection. We'll muddle through it though. I thought this one I'd go through a bit of a gear list. This week marks the 2-year anniversary of my coast to coast walk, which kind of started this whole thing off me really. I filmed the walk kind of as a little video diary. I was going to put it out and decided to create a channel and start recording more of my hikes and things. So I thought I'd go through what gear I took, have a look over what I do still use and what I don't still use. Now I've packed my bag as much as I remember as I could for when I went on the walk. Obviously it's not going to be exactly the same, but all the basic gears there, the essentials, so we're just going to go through it bit by bit I think today. So first of all is the bag itself. It's the Osprey Ether 70. Now as far as I know, I don't think you can actually get this. I think it's called the Ether Plus now, I'm not too sure. But I bought this bag off Amazon and it was about £160. Retail on it, or the equivalent now, is probably around the £230, £240 mark. To be fair, even at that price I would recommend it. It is so comfortable. It just spreads the load so well. Plenty of padding on the straps along the waist as well. Nice big pockets, ventilation. I couldn't tell you enough how good this bag is. So we'll start from the top and work our way down. So in the top pocket, this is just generally what I'd have in most of my packs for any multi-days or anything like that. First of all, the first aid kit. Bought that I think from Lidl's. It's for a car. I've taken loads out of it, added bits and bobs in it, just keep the bag, it's nice and handy. But that would have had blister patches, plasters, antihistamines, paracetamol, things like that in there. Next then is the Sawyer squeeze. Can't speak highly enough of the filter itself. The only thing I would say is that I remember it did happen. I took one of the bags and the bag broke on the walk itself. I did take two, so the spare one was fine. But yeah, the bag didn't really last the distance. But the filter itself, they're basically lifetime. As long as you keep them clean, back flush them after every use, or long use I should say, then should be good for, as I said, a lifetime's worth of use. Next then, just simple gaiters. Now I actually bought these on the walk specifically to go over the bogs in 9 standard. If you've seen the videos you would have known it pretty much rained for the whole 2 weeks, so I needed something to try and keep my feet as dry as possible. They didn't really work. If I'm being honest, I'd probably sack them off, just put a decent pair of over trousers on. Next, nice simple windshield for my stove. That I think I picked up on Amazon, maybe about 20 quid. Most of the stuff you'll see in this is fairly budget stuff. Obviously I know the Osprey Ether isn't, but I wanted to get myself a decent bag to give myself the best chance of the most amount of comfort I could. But most of the stuff you'll see now in the main bag, as far as the larger items, they are budget stuff. Right, so first bit of budget gear is this. It's the Van Gogh Aerotrom, or Airtrom, I have no idea how to pronounce it. This is the short version. It is a inflatable sleep mat. It's only got an R value of 1, so clearly it's only for summer use. However, it was absolutely fantastic, and this, as much as I've got a thermarest now for my camps, this will probably still end up coming with me on my summer camps. It's so light. I mean, this is 290 grams. The size itself is probably about 3 times smaller than the thermarest, so that can go in the bag still for summer use. It's absolutely fantastic, and anyone looking for a cheap alternative for an inflatable mat, definitely look them up. Now I put this in here just to represent clothes. Now some of the clothes in here are what I actually ended up taking. The one thing I would say is I took far too many. I ended up with, I think, 2 t-shirts, a thermal top, a merino wool top, a couple of pairs of trousers, obviously pants, socks, things like that. A fleece as well I even took for the evenings in the tents. It was summer. It's the biggest mistake I made, I think, on the whole trip, and something I've definitely learned the more and more I've done it. You know, this was the first big sort of multi-day trip I've done. I was relatively new to wild camping and through hiking and things like that in general at the time. So yeah, learn from experience. I definitely did not need a bag like this. As I said, this just represents what I took, and it was probably a lot bigger than this at the time. Food. Now this bag is fairly small. Obviously it's not full right now, but I did have, this was the bag that I used to keep my food in. Took really simple cheap stuff. Super noodles, little packets of porridge oats, powdered milk, powdered eggs, things like that, few tea bags. To be honest, I probably again would say I took too much. I didn't realise how many places there would be along the way that I could pick up supplies from. There are a few days here and there where you'd need to make sure you've got enough for maybe 2 or 3 days worth, because you're not really going to see anything or see anywhere shops and things like that. But in general, there's a lot of places you can just pop in and pick up some stuff. But yeah, food wise, it was really cheap for me. It was literally soup, noodles and porridge. Saying that, I did end up having a few pub lunches along the way, and yeah, again, there's plenty of things like that you can stop off, especially through the lakes, which has quite surprised me. There was a lot more places to stop over and stop for a bit of lunch than I expected along the route. But yeah, in general, just kept it as cheap and cheerful as I could with food. On a theme of food was this, my cook set. Now, before you say anything, there was 2 of us, so me and my brother did this walk together. We did kind of split some of this gear as well between our bags just because of the weight, but this set is the Alpinist 2 by MSR. So it comes with the pot itself, 2 cups. They are insulated as well, so they've got a cavity in there to keep your drinks hot. Really good. A couple of plates as well, and I took the MSR Pocket Rocket 2 as well as a stove. What I would say, probably I could have got away with just us having a little small pot each. This is relatively heavy, relatively bulky, and if you consider the fact that you can't put a gas canister in there because it's not really in the room, or say any sizable gas canister, by the time you pack that up and put it away, there's a lot of gaps. There's a lot of places you could end up putting things that realistically, that's just wasting a lot of space in your bag. So I would say that it's probably too heavy, well, definitely too heavy for what I did, but because there were 2 of us, and again, this was my first experience to do anything, it was definitely welcome when it came to stopping and making out a bit of grub. I took 2 of these, completely unnecessary. This is one of the actual canisters I took on the walk with me. I use this canister to refill my smaller canisters once they're empty, and it's still got gas in it 2 years later. It was just no need for me to take so much gas. It was just ridiculous. But again, it was the first experience for me doing anything like this, so you live and learn. Next then, just my electrical pouch. Now this would have had my GoPro, batteries, power bank. Now power banks is an absolute must. You probably guess, you know, modern technologies, we all have phones, we all have little things that we need to have along the way, day-to-day stuff. So a power bank's an absolute essential, and again, because of the pubs and things like that were along the way, I just ended up asking pretty much every place we stopped in if I could charge it, even if we were stopped there for, you know, half an hour or so, just get some charge in it, just to make sure you've always got enough power for your gadgets. Head torch, probably not necessary. I went in May. I mean, the sun was out long enough that I could have done without it, but it's definitely worth it just in case anything did go horrifically wrong in the middle of the night and you had to get away anywhere. And little radio. This is by Running Snail. An absolute essential when you're hiking. I still take this every single camp, along with the head torch, I suppose. But yeah, that would have had all my electricals in, like I said, the GoPro and power bank and phone chargers, and everything would have gone in that bag. This, the Vangro Ultralight Pro 200. I've taken this on every camp I've ever done up until I think it was January or February this year. I bought myself the Rab Ascent 900 for my winter camps. This probably will still end up being my summer sleeping bag. Yes, it's Vangro, it is relatively cheap. It says it goes down to -1, probably a push, I would say, but I am a very warm sleeper, so this for me, honestly, when I was out on the coast to coast, I pretty much ended up in a shorts and t-shirt, and even this was enough. Obviously it's the middle of summer. The tent itself, the Coleman Cobra 2. What can I say about this? I will never ever get rid of this tent, simply because it took me across the country. When I was looking at tents, I was again on a budget at the time, obviously looking for a 2-man tent because of the two of us. We did split this between our bags as well. It's not the lightest, but again, because we split it, it kind of made it okay. It's 2.3 kilos. It's only got one door. I may end up doing a bit of a review on this because I haven't really seen that many online, but for a budget tent, honestly, I found this on Amazon. I think it was 60 quid. Retail on it, I think, is way over 100 regularly. I think it's about 130, I think the retail is. You do see it on sale a lot even now, for probably around the 100 mark, but I think 60 quid for that, you just can't go wrong. Now, couple of mentions. So this again used to be my go-to jacket. This is the Berghaus Deluge. I think it's the 2, I'm not sure. Don't know if it's the Deluge Pro or the Deluge 2 Pro. Brilliant jacket. I got the ventilated version as well, so it's got the pit tips on it. I did have the unventilated version originally, and I got really warm in it, so I got that one. The only thing I would say with it is it isn't the most breathable, so I did get quite warm, and after 9 days of relentless rain, you obviously did end up getting a few patches. It kind of, I didn't give up, but yeah, it wasn't 100% waterproof by the end. Now the last thing I wanted to bring up, which I couldn't recommend enough for anybody doing this walk, is this Cicerone map. As you can see, it's all battered and bruised from the rain that we had, but this thing is absolutely brilliant. So it's effectively a copy of all the OS maps, but only along the actual route itself. So you can see there, you got your start, you follow that round, and it is all scaled to the 1 to 25,000 OS maps. And this, along with my Garmin, which I had pre-programmed with the route, couldn't really fault it. I think there was only one time that we did get a little bit lost at the top of Lining Crag. Literally just couldn't see the path where it went from the top there because of the clag, but other than that, it was absolutely fine. I had no problems with it, just referred back to it when needed along the way. Absolutely brilliant map, that is. And that's about it. There were other bits and bobs that I took, but that was kind of the main gear really, and most of which I do still use, or would have at least still use of at some point in the future. So none of this stuff would probably end up going anywhere, as much as my wife would like it to. If any of you are looking to do the coast to coast hike itself, I would say 100% do it. It is absolutely worth it. It's probably the best thing that I've ever done as far as adventure goes, and I will definitely be doing it again. So that's the end of another video, guys. If you've enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Please also subscribe as well if you haven't already to the channel, and hit the bell button so you get any notifications of new videos. The next video should hopefully be a camp out. I've got a new tent, and I really want to try and get it out in the hills and give it a bit of a run through. And see what it's like. But yeah, we'll see what comes of it once I get over this cold and and everything. Then we'll see what we can get up to. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.